Whoa.
This is a mango flower in China. First, the vendor peels away half the skin and leaves some on for texture because the skin is extra crunchy. Then he cuts the mango into strips so it can fully absorb the flavor of the spices. The mango is then soaked in a brown sugar water for about 30 seconds. That allows the mango to open up a bit. To finish, chili powder is added along with a big spoonful of Chinese licorice powder.
It doesn't taste like mango at all. This one is more of an acquired taste.
For 4.5 yuan, I found these rice rolls at Nanning's night market, where the wrap is made by steaming rice batter for around 30 seconds. Then minced meat, scallions, carrots, and mushrooms are added as filling. I was pretty surprised to find meat at this price point. I topped it with their special sauce and crushed peanuts, and it was delicious. For 15 yuan, I got these grilled eggplants that's made by completely charring the skin of the eggplant and pepper before mixing it with salt, MSG, chilies, and a squeeze of lime juice. I also added a century egg for 5 yuan for extra texture. This was invented by farmers working in the fields because it can be made without a pot or a stove. It's spicy and savory, but the lime juice cuts right through it. I found this barbecue stall in the middle of the market. Customers sit around the grill while the vendor cooks. They're famous for their exploding tofu. After grilling, the skin turns crispy and the inside gets really soft and gooey, so it explodes in the mouth after biting into it. It comes with a sauce made with 21 ingredients, and the tofu just soaks up all the spicy, sour, and herby flavor. What does street food ramen look like in China? For 20 yuan, I got a cup of ramen noodles that looks just like the packaging. Instead of flavoring packets, the stall uses their own seasoning and chili oil. Then she adds a big spoonful of beef, a ladle of braising liquid for extra flavor, and finally tops it off with beef broth. The soup's flavor is so rich, and it doesn't have that artificial aftertaste from the flavoring packet. The noodles have the perfect chewy texture, and the beef is so tender. What does breakfast in tropical China look like? For 12 yuan, I got a bowl of vinegar rice noodles with minced pork. It's prepared by boiling bone broth with vinegar in a shallow copper pot to cook the pork and heat up the noodles. For more flavor, there's MSG, salt, and 4 different types of chili oil on the table. I added a bit of everything, and the flavor was so intense but really good. What does the most dangerous hot pot look like in China? For 230 yuan, I got this hot pot that has lurid bolete, a poisonous mushroom that's only safe to eat after being fully cooked for 30 minutes. They even keep a sample of the soup after cooking just in case. There are 9 other wild mushrooms in the pot that the restaurant cleans and trims right before serving. The mushroom soaks up all the flavors of the rich chicken broth. It's savory with a strong earthy taste. What does lunch in tropical China look like? For 58 yuan, I got a huge spread of fish, minced pork, sausages, pickled vegetables, and sticky rice on a banana leaf. This is a traditional Dai dish, an ethnic group in China that's closely related to the population in Laos and Thailand. The sticky rice soaks up all the flavors of the meat and pickled vegetables. It comes with an acidic sauce that cuts through the richness of the dish. Picking up rice and meat together with chopsticks was tricky, but then I realized the proper way to eat it was to grab it with hands. What happens when Chinese street food meets Indian dosa? For 20 yuan, I ordered this dosa that comes with bananas and cheese. The vendor puts on a show before stretching the dough so thin it's almost transparent. I wonder how long he practiced putting on bananas like that. The vendor sprinkles on some sugar before putting it on the grill. It's so rich, sweet, and buttery. How are 50-cent grill rice cakes made? The vendor pours in a giant batch of rice batter into this 3 feet wide spinning pan. Then he adds in raisins and black sesame seeds for flavor and texture. It's then covered for 5 minutes to fully cook through before he folds it together to serve. The crust is super crispy and has a nice golden color, and the inside is really dense and chewy. It tastes slightly sweet with a rich rice flavor. What kind of exotic fruits can I find at this market in China? First, I found these fruits that look just like dragon eggs for 80 yuan per kilogram.
The meat is kind of mushy, and the seeds are really big.
Then I found these tiny watermelons, and it's sold for 10 yuan per box.
It tastes exactly like cucumber, but with a bit of sourness to it.
Then I found these cactus fruits for 48 yuan per kilogram, which I asked the vendor to peel for me.
It's really fragrant, little bit sweet.
What does lunch in China look like? For 15 yuan, I got a bowl of rice noodles with eggs, sausage, crispy pork belly, ham, and mushrooms. The broth they use is made with 10 whole chickens and has been boiling since 4 a.m. However, you're handed just the toppings and the broth at the counter. That's because the rice noodles here are self-serve and unlimited. The soup has a really deep, rich flavor, and the rice noodles has a really satisfying snap to it. This is Luo Si Fen, or snail rice noodles, because the flavoring base comes from boiling river snails. You can choose from a huge variety of meats and veggies as toppings, but the 13 yuan standard version comes with bamboo shoots, water spinach, and peanuts. Traditionally, these noodles are made into soups, but these young chefs stir-frying the noodles intensifies the flavors and gives it a smoky taste. What does lunch look like on China's border? Xishuangbanna is right next to Laos and is home to the Dai people who love sour, spicy, and herby food because it's hot and humid all year round. For 40 yuan, I got spicy cold noodles and grilled fish. The fish is deboned and minced with a bunch of herbs and eaten with a lettuce wrap. It tastes like a spring roll in taco form, and it's really good. Did you know that there are over 800 types of edible mushrooms mushrooms in Yunnan, China. The most prized of them all is what locals called 见手青, which literally translates to green upon touch. Because it's toxic when undercooked, it's typically served as hot pot to tourists because it's safer. But the health department still asks restaurants to keep samples of the soup. However, locals don't like to eat mushrooms this way because all the flavors get blended together and some mushrooms lose its texture. Instead, locals prefer stir-fried mushrooms or mushroom fried rice. With mushroom fried rice, the rice acts like a sponge and soaks up all the flavor and fragrance of the mushroom, and it's really good. What does dinner look like at China's border with Laos? For 120 yuan, I got grilled fish, pork belly, and a bowl of rice noodles. In the Dai Village, far away from the touristy crowds of Xishuangbanna, the dishes here are prepared in a traditional way with mostly grilling and plenty of lemongrass. The fish is split open so it soaks up all the flavors of the fresh herbs layered on top. And the pork belly is eaten like Korean barbecue with a tomato and pepper sauce. It's a bit sour, slightly spicy, and it tastes almost like salsa, and it's so good. For 48 yuan, I got Yunnan's most famous rice noodles. It comes with a boiling hot chicken broth and 15 small dishes that include quail eggs, vegetables, and even flower petals. They're added to the soup at the table, so it has the best texture. However, I saw them using pre-made broth packets. I guess this is to be expected in a touristy area. But if you're looking for freshly made broth, they're often hidden in the small alleyways. Have you ever seen this fruit before? It's called snake fruit, and I'm gonna try it for the first time.
It looks like a garlic almost. I'm just gonna bite into it. Ready? It's really, really crispy. It's a little sweet, a little sour. It has a texture like jackfruit. It has like the aroma of pineapple. It's really, really good.
For 30 yuan, I got a bowl of Luo Si Fen in China, or snail rice noodles. There's no actual snails in the dish. The name comes from the soup base, which is made from leftover broth that was used to cook river snails. The soup has a strong polarizing smell, kind of like stinky tofu or durian. It was actually banned on public transportation not long ago. Despite how it smells, it's super addicting. It's spicy with a deep umami flavor. For 8 yuan, I got a grilled rice cake in Yunnan, China. It's made by stuffing rice down this machine that magically turns it into mochi. I chose youtiao and an egg as my filling, but I kind of regretted it after I saw the pre-fried egg put on the grill. The ingredients didn't spend enough time on the grill and it was barely warm, so I wouldn't try this stall again. What's the best way to enjoy mushrooms in China? For 30 yuan, I got 3 skewers of grilled wild mushrooms in the mushroom capital of China, Yunnan. Grilling mushrooms brings out more of each mushroom's unique flavor, and after grilling, the outside is crispy and fragrant, and the inside is juicy and earthy. After trying grilled mushrooms, I prefer it to mushroom hotpot where all the flavors get blended together and the mushrooms lose more texture. Did you know that jackfruit is the biggest fruit that's grown on trees? Today, I'm on a mission to pick my own jackfruit in China. Because there are no commercial jackfruit picking farms, the only way is to ask around. So I pulled over to buy some jackfruit and started chatting with the seller. It turned out that they had a jackfruit farm, but it was over 15 miles away in the mountains with muddy roads since it just rained. So there's no way my scooter could make it there. But he told me his friend had a farm nearby that's accessible on a paved road. I got to the farm and told the farm owner my intentions, and he welcomed me in. Because I can't carry the fruit back home on my flight, I'll have to ship it home. And because ripened jackfruits will rot easily, the owner picked a fruit for us that'll ripen just in time for it to arrive at home.
这大概有多重？哦
This jackfruit is 16 kilograms, and he's giving it to us for 5 yuan per kilogram. He even treated us to a small jackfruit. It's really, really fragrant and it's a little sweet. It's not overly sweet. I took the jackfruit into town and shipped it, and the shipping fees were more than the fruit itself. But it turned out to be so worth it because when I got back to the city, I found that jackfruits were selling for almost 8 times more.